What's up, y'all? Um, I just watched a brief clip of Kanye West, and it was, it was heartbreaking. Um, and I felt, I was there was something that was like, I want to talk about this, and then I was like, I don't, I don't know what to talk about. Like, I don't, one, I'm so concerned about like about how we have a conversation about Kanye West without just dragging our own ableism into it. And then I realized that, right, the way that we have that conversation is that the conversation isn't actually about Kanye West. The conversation is about us and celebrity culture. That the conversation is about where we put our interest, our attention, our time, our focus, whose lives we care about, whose lives we do not care about, whose lives we assist and whose lives we do not assist. Because, like Mark Lamont Hill posted, I'm concerned that, that he's really ill. And, we know, he has been forward and out front about his diagnosis with bipolar disorder. And so we know that Kanye West is neurodivergent and often struggles, based off of his own music, with managing his mental health in ways that feel balanced. We know that. But what I find interesting and what feels most present to me is the choice to treat Kanye West with this particular level of concern that we do not treat other people with mental health issues with. That Kanye West isn't doing anything different than I see on the streets of Oakland, with folks who are clearly, potentially having a mental health crisis, or who, may be saying things that don't make sense to me, or things that seem like they might be speaking in ways that indicate that there is something going on with them around their mental health. Right. And the way I'm talking about this is because, first and foremost, I'm not equipped to diagnose people. And so just because someone's behavior seems non-normative to me doesn't mean that I'm equipped to be slapping some label of mental illness on them. That's first and foremost. But beyond that is, every single day we encounter people who act in the same ways Kanye West acts, or say the same sorts of things that Kanye West says, just in passing on the street. But there are no cameras. There's no press conference. There's no millions of people on the internet reposting it. And so this isn't actually, part of the reason that Kanye West can't get the help that Kanye West might need is because we continue to operate with him in not getting the assistance he needs by providing him an audience and not help. Right? We keep saying, I hope he gets help, while we snap cameras and repost things and do all the things that his behavior says he would like to see, which is our attention on him. Right? Whatever it is that's going on with Kanye West, it desires a deep amount of attention, right? Which is why he says these inflammatory things, which is why, because they create a certain amount of response. And the truth of the matter is that we are so caught up in celebrity culture that rather than giving people help, we feed, and it's not all that different from Trump. That we continue to feed the celebrity machine, which, at its core is a function of narcissism, right? It's a function of the ego blown out of control. But we, the U.S. as a nation, is a cult of celebrity. Constantly. Where we place humans with all their normal human fallibility on these incredible pedestals, either to laud them as godlike or to, defame them. But either way it goes, we do it in this incredibly hyper visual, really distorted way. And so, if we say we want Kanye West to get the help that we say we want Kanye West to get, then the most generous thing that we could do is to remove our investment in Kanye West's celebrity so that he simply can be a man dealing with the issues that he has. And that requires us to change our relationship to celebrity. And this is why I talk about this idea of right relationship, right? Because in right relationship, I am not some guru you put on a pedestal. I'm a person who shares things that you find valuable. And so you share valuable things with me. And then we have a relationship of reciprocity. That's the ideal. Because this other place where we exceptionalize people and then we, what's the word that I want, right? We exceptionalize them and then we deplore them. That's the current, again, the binary relationship that we have, which again is, if we're going to go back to some radical self-love tools, banish the binary. We are in these very binary relationships with what we call celebrity. And it actually keeps people from getting the help that they need. Guess what? If nobody ever showed up at anything Kanye West said, Kanye West wouldn't have nothing to do but deal with Kanye West. Nothing. There'd be nothing else for him to focus on except him. But our insatiable desire for status, for acclaim, for wealth, the indoctrination that tells us that is important and worthy of magnification keeps us putting that person who keeps trying to shove themselves in our face. We keep saying, yes, we'll look at you. Whatever Kanye West was saying should have never been caught on video, because he should have been saying it to himself. And what's fascinating is that we let other people with mental illness say those things to themselves up and down our streets with no resource, no help, no social infrastructure to assist them in navigating that circumstance. But we're all on the internet wishing desperately that Kanye West gets the help he needs. But we don't keep that same energy, for the person walking down Broadway or Grand or down the city streets in New York or wherever else it is in our communities where folks are struggling with mental health. So I just want to point out the stigma and the cult of celebrity and our relationship to celebrity that actually keeps us from from being agents of assistance for folks who are struggling. We are not helping Kanye West by paying him a single bit of attention. Because, right, he has a family that actually, and unfortunately, they are as invested in the cult of celebrity as the rest of our society. But we can be helpful and take that same energy and actually, don't ignore the person with mental health challenges that you see in your neighborhood. See if they need something. Offer some real assistance. Don't fucking call the police when they're in mental health crisis, because those are the folks that get killed. And leave Kanye West alone. Leave him to himself. When you see his name, don't repeat it. Don't retweet it. Don't Instagram it. Leave him to himself and his family so that he can actually focus on what it is that he needs. Those are the thoughts that came up for me.